Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who got kicked out when they turned 18. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. I was kicked out the day I turned 17. I lived out of my car for 3 months while working fast food and completing my senior year. I would have probably dropped out had it not been for my best friend's dad. He found out about the situation and forced me to move in with him. He wouldn't take no for an answer. He had recently got divorced because his stay-at-home wife was cheating on him. Because they had a spare bedroom and I was friends with both his sons that lived with him, he told me it's just us guys living there and having fun. You stay until you finish school. After that, you can pay $100 a month in rent until you decide what to do. Don't argue with me. Oh my gosh, so nice. The man's a saint. I wouldn't have been able to keep going to school without him, and he knew it. He's a guy who had to drop out to work back in the day to support his family. He got his GED and clawed his way up to head engineer at a factory so he could afford a nice home for his wife and kids. He bought a nice 2-story home that he barely got to stay in for a woman who didn't appreciate him. The man even came home every single day and cooked meals for us to make sure we'd eat. Yo, what an amazing person. In the middle of fighting a divorce, trying to get custody of both his kids and keep the house he paid for, he took me in, adding to the stress. He did that for me just because I was friends with his sons. If I ever get rich, that man is getting an early retirement and a comfortable home whenever he chooses. If that man can do all that for someone that isn't his child, parents have no excuse for not helping their own kids out. Wow, that sentence just makes me want to cry, dude. That's so true. The fact that this man was a stranger to this kid and he still decided to do this so this guy could get an education and do well in life. Other parents can do the same, even better. My boyfriend got kicked out at 18 and his parents literally said to his face, "Since you were in an accident and we didn't mean to have you, we need you out of the house now so we can actually relax like we used to before you were born." Pathetic parents. They are so pathetic. They chose to not be responsible and now they're gonna kick out the kids. That's stupid. Well, your kid ain't gonna care about you when you guys are old. When you guys need help again, your kids aren't gonna care about you. I was 17, a semester away from graduating. My parents found some weed in my brother's room. I woke up early on a school morning to the sound of my father angrily throwing mine and my brother's things out of the house and out into the yard. He and I spent the next 5 years homeless, at best sleeping on a friend's floor, at worst sleeping on concrete sidewalks, exposed to the elements and the worst in people. I'm 34 now and off the streets, almost a decade now, but it forever changed the course of my life for the worse. And worst of all, my brother was never able to recover. My parents divorced for a second time about a year after kicking us out. My father almost immediately remarried. I later found out that he had put his stepson through college and paid his rent while we were eating out of dumpsters. That was probably the most painful thing I ever had to absorb and internalize. What? He's willing to do that for his stepson, but not for his actual kids. That's so sad. Oh my god. I don't know how I would feel if I was in that situation. Like, dude, that's so painful. The fact that they have to go through all of that, sleep on the streets, and then you know your dad is paying for another kid. Oh, was one of those kids. Haven't spoken to my parents in over 10 years. Have no intention on speaking to them anytime in the future either. Good. They didn't deserve to be spoken to. Kicking out your kid as soon as you're legally allowed to do so tells me you wanted them out of the house even earlier, and the only reason you didn't do it is because you didn't want to be arrested. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It just shows that these parents never even wanted to become parents. Like, you don't do that to your kid. How do you do that to your own kid? You chose to have them. Even if you didn't choose to have them and it just happened, well, it happened. So you should look after them. A girl from my class came home after a grad night party to find 2 garbage bags with her stuff in it. They didn't even tie it, so when it rained that night, it filled up the bags with water and destroyed her laptop, pictures, and clothing. Her parents showed up to her house last year on Independence Day because the house burned down from a firework mishap. I'm told the husband just asked them to leave. Oh, I should add they didn't have insurance on the home, so they were pretty much screwed. Good. I'm glad the husband stood his ground and was like, get out. The fact that they had the audacity to be like, help us now. I know we kicked you out, but please help us. Nah. I was kicked out at 16 and again at 18. My mother had no ambitions for work and decided the low to zero income of life was a good choice to raise 3 kids. Anyway, she demanded $500 per month from me while I was in high school. At the time, a full-time job at minimum wage would net you about $300 bi-weekly. Needless to say, I first had to drop out of school to work full-time to pay her that. Eventually, I got back into school, cut back on and quit jobs until I was part-time and could actually attend school. This causes money to stop coming in. This caused her to be angry. This caused me to become homeless. So now when she asks for help or simply wants to talk to me and I don't reply, well, there you go. The audacity of these parents to want help after kicking their own kids out. Like, seriously? Just because someone turns 18 doesn't mean they're working yet or they found a job yet. And you're just going to kick them out so they can live on the streets or something? That's ridiculous. Dad didn't want to have kids. Once we were 7 or 8 years old, my mother pretended to still like us, but she didn't seem to. I believe that many past generations had children more out of obligation than out of genuine desire to be parents for the rest of their lives. Wow. That's so mean. If you guys are from a loving family, go hug your parents. If you guys are 18 and still living with your parents and they don't mind you living with them forever, go hug them, man. Even if you get into a fight with them, they could be kicking you out, but they just choose not to because you're their kid. Literally feels like you're level 1 in a game. You got nothing but the clothes on your back and it sucks. I remember finally moving out of the car and into a 1-bedroom apartment. Felt so good having our own place, my girlfriend, now wife, and I. I remember we slept on the floor and used all of our clothes as a blanket and pillow. We taped together Walmart bags for a shower curtain. I remember making a frozen lasagna and not being able to take it out of the oven because we didn't have an oven mitt or towel to grab it. I never let my kids start their adult life like that. Same, dude, same. The fact that these parents just chuck their kids out with no money, just their clothes. That's it? That blows my mind. So do they not even love the kids at all? They don't even care about the kids, right? Like, they just don't care. They just act like they're strangers now. Because how do you kick someone out that you love? It doesn't make sense. Parents who kick the kids out, they have never loved the kids before. That's what it is. Like, you wouldn't even kick your own pet out, man. I went to school with some people like that, immediately kicked out at 18. How can they expect to continue their education when they now have to immediately start making enough food and shelter? Inevitably, most got married and divorced or at least pregnant young too. Now, 20 years later, the ones I'm friends with on Facebook are continuing the vicious cycle by kicking their kids out at 18. Come on, bro, give them a chance and you complain your family doesn't have generational wealth. This is why. Wow. So they're just following their parents' footpaths. That's crazy. I thought if you get kicked out at 18, you wouldn't do the same to your kids because you know how it feels. But then there are also some people who feel like they need to do the same because that's just how life is. No! If someone treats you bad, you don't treat someone else bad. No! Oh my god. They should have bought a dog if they want the thing gone by 18. True. If they don't want a lifetime long of responsibility, get a dog. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.